recording, and we will mute the sound for just a second, and we will say deactivate, activate. Hi, it's skycat.live, and it is 12/3/23. That is a December 3rd, a Sunday, as if I recall. Yes, a Sunday, December 3rd, 2023. And this is Skycat Live, and we are starting our day. And thank you so much for being with me today. We play the bells to cleanse the dark energy from the stream. Keep it clean. And I love you guys. Today you will be seeing about 6 hours of WoW Season of Discovery Rogue. You will be seeing 12 hours of Final Fantasy XI Horizon and 12 hours of EVE Online. These are being loaded as we speak. I am trying to get to 25 on Season of Discovery. I wanted to let like a good 36, 48 hours pass, so I'm behind the curve now, so I can get my leveling done with a little bit more sense of urgency, and I have rested XP. So rested XP is always good, and will only help me in my cause. And yep, and I have some work to do on WoW before I can even get on that server and EVE Online and all that, so I'm beginning that work now as we speak. I will drop this off of the big screen. There's not much going on in the world except for I did learn yesterday through a H-Bomber Guy video that Internet Historian and a bunch of other creators are directly guilty of plagiarism, as in they are full-blown taking other documentary scripts and just making them their own. And an example of this would have been The Cave by Internet Historian. That was actually a British documentary that he took word for word pretty much and stole for his own. And while I think The Cave was an extremely creative effort that I don't fault Internet Historian for, I still think that I did not like what I saw there. I believe Internet Historian is a criminal, and that's unfortunate. I don't like seeing that or saying that, but that is the truth. And so I don't know if they're going to cancel him or not, but I hope not. And on that note, we'll get to the gaming and stuff. But yeah, that came out this week, and it's sad to see such an illustrious YouTuber that I actually really genuinely liked fall from grace. And I don't think he's gonna fall from grace either, which is kind of the cool part about it. We'll see. On that note, I'm gonna get off the big face and begin the gaming. There we are. Let us get to it. We will be disenchanting today, and I will turn my sound back on. Yep. And now that the launcher's done, we can get rid of that filament. Filaments are worthless. Com Gamma is worthless. Com isn't that bad, but it's not good. Wow, I'm up, huh? I'm like up. Wow.
Connecting.
77 million skill points. Oh yeah. I don't want guideline on this character. I don't know why it's on. I don't need any of that except for like the auction, the Pratt, and the postal. That's it. There we are. Now, oh yeah, and of course Bagnon. I didn't realize I didn't have that. Bag brother. Okay, good. And let's just go selling. Oh no, wait. We will disenchant those. Yes. Actually, those will sell. Those will absolutely sell. That kind of seems like I should be wearing them, but yeah. All right, those will sell. I'll definitely sell those. I think that will sell too, but oh, good morning, number 2. How are you? I just got on. How you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful day. I just got the opening soliloquy done, and I am now posting auctions on my hardcore bank alt. Today I will be playing EVE Online and Final Fantasy XI. Missed what you said here. I've got to shrink this thing down. Not bad. Watching the grand finals of that tourney. Oh, cool. Right on. I learned, yeah, I was just talking on my stream. I learned yesterday or last night as I went to bed that there's a famous streamer called the Internet Historian, and he's full-blown guilty of plagiarism. And they're going to get him. And they're going to cancel Internet Historian pretty bad. He's the guy who did Casa Concordia and all that. He's got a new video out, and he's sounding stressed, you know. And yeah, they're going to get him for plagiarism, which I learned last night. Plagiarism was what I went to bed to, but I didn't know. When I finished the video, I was like, oh my God. There's like 10 really famous fucking YouTube content providers. Internet Historian being one of them. Like Illuminati, people that I don't really know, but I know Internet Historian. He's very funny. They've been taking documentary scripts and just completely verbatim delivering documentary scripts as YouTube videos, which is plagiarism. As in, they take the script and they just put it on their YouTube video. They don't change it much. Maybe they might change a word every 3 or 4 sentences or whatever, but they're directly taking scripts. And so there's some drama about to happen here. This guy's got 4 million subscribers. We'll check in tomorrow, but I'm getting the feeling we're gonna watch this leak like a sieve, and it's gonna reduce. He's gonna lose like 1 million subs in the next week, and I don't want that for him, but I think it's gonna happen either way. And as people wake up to it, like I said, the comedy's worth the tragedy, brother. I love you and all that, because he is funny. He's worth it. You know, oh man, turns out those guys have been stealing real bad. And so when the internet woke up to the idea that these guys have been stealing so badly, I think that the age of them ripping documentaries and just posting them on YouTube verbatim is going to end. And a lot of good content is going to get really bad. Because if you think about it, the documentaries that they're ripping off, that's like a crew of often like 10 to 30 people who spend like 1 to 2 years usually catching like sources and calling people and showing up and filming and writing and having a professional script and anchors and delivery and professionally written jokes and writing and all that stuff, right? And they take all that work and they homologously post this on YouTube, and they translate the script like pretty much direct verbatim, which is plagiarism. It's like the core of it. You can't just take a script and just reread it. You can't call it your own. That's plagiarism. You have to write it enough of your own voice. And it turns out most of the fame, and I didn't know till yesterday, most of the famous YouTube fucking commentators out there are straight up thieves, and they're about to get crucified. And so that's going on in the internet age. I didn't know. And it started 3 days ago, and it's going to be a revolution. They're going to sweep through YouTube, and they're going to kick all the biters off of YouTube, the people that like steal for a living and reproduce You know, and I had no idea that, like, now I'm okay with them, like redoing content. I'm actually okay with that, but I'm not okay with them directly ripping scripts verbatim so they don't have to do any work and then making like $10 million off that video. That I'm not okay with. That's the script that some other writer wrote. And so we're about to see a revolution on YouTube starting this week. I'm talking like 2 days ago, where they come through and it's gonna be like a calling. It's gonna be, yeah, we've watched a few of his videos. Oh yeah, he's famous for, now I don't know why, but every day I wake up, my chatty settings have been messed with, so we're just gonna go back and force it to be competent. I'm sorry. I need you to actually be competent. I can't take your incompetence here. You keep dropping the volume on me where I can't hear it. There we go. Thank you. I really need you to not do that. You are not alive. You cannot change settings while I'm sleeping or anything like that. Computer resets do not warrant you changing your settings in your JSON file. I don't understand it. It would take me some breaking and felony laws to change those settings without my permission, but you get to do it while I'm sleeping because you're incompetent in the source code or whatever. I would be committing international felony fucking law breaking to change those settings against my will, but you do it to me all the fucking time just because I reset the computer. So why don't you go to jail for felony fucking breaking the settings and JSONs and all that or whatever? Why are you allowed to change my settings but not me? I've set it on stream. I've set those settings every day for 2 years and shit. You keep resetting them when I reset my computer. That's unacceptable. The file's not in read only. That is a full-blown fucked up bug. It's a fucked up bug. And it's Windows. It's Windows. It's not chatty. It's a disgusting Windows bug, and I'm catching it every day, and it's making me very angry. You must stop that now, Windows. Stop changing my settings while I'm fucking sleeping. That's Windows. That's not fucking chatty. Fuck Windows. So anyways, we're gonna come back. Sorry for the anger, but I mean, it's very, very righteous. Fuck Windows for changing my settings. Every day I have to go on stream and embarrass myself in front of at least one person while I show the settings and how you change them while I was sleeping. Fuck Windows. And there's no other fucking option, or I would use it. Anyways, so I mean, it's not Linux. They're not better. So here we go. So yeah, we go to Internet Historian. Why are you changing settings while I'm sleeping? It's not okay. It makes me so paranoid. I check every program that I fucking use, like it's a fucking heroin packager in a fucking, like in a Brooklyn, like, crack house who's cutting heroin into bags for me, and they've got to be stripped naked. You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking, I check every fucking program I use every single fucking day, because every single fucking day, Windows changes the settings on the fucking programs. And that's disgusting to me. I wash my programs like I would if I was running a heroin mill. And I strip them naked and I take off their bra and their panties. And I'm like, fuck you. Are you stealing from me? That's how I look at these settings. Because that's what they do. They change while you're sleeping. It's fucking disgusting. Fire Windows. Get them the fuck out of here. Why are they allowed to have this monopoly? The government should have dismantled them years ago. I want 5 OSs on the market that don't change my settings while I'm sleeping. What the fuck is wrong with Windows? Get that piece of shit program the fuck out of here. Get them out of here. Get their monopoly the fuck out of here. They've ruined the world. Get them out of here. Anyways. So we go back to Internet Historian. Sorry, but it's true. Get them the fuck out of here. Get their monopoly incompetence changing settings while I'm sleeping. And get them the fuck out of here. Get them gone. I can't have programs changing settings on me. That implies that there's some rogue AI changing settings on me. I can't change those settings while I'm sleeping. Something else did. So whatever it is, get it the fuck out of here. It's Windows. It's Windows. So get them out of here. Prosecute and get them out of here. They're a criminal organization at this point. Get them gone. Can't have settings changed at night while I'm sleeping. Can't have that. Prosecute. Get them out of here. Anyways, so Comfy Historians, the ones that he was famous, and he re-uploaded Man in Cave, and we all wondered about this, right? He re-uploaded Man in Cave, and this is particularly because the entire fucking script is stolen. So then he went back 6 months ago and he re-released the video and he re-plagiarized the content. The original one was banned, and he re-plagiarized the content and re-released, which is what this re-upload is. He's a plagiarism person. Really fucking bad. Now, the Costa Concordia was not written by him. The Goodening of No Man's Sky was probably not written by him. Tales from Navaris probably was. But that was the last time he was really good. When he wrote his own stuff, he was really, really good. But the minute he started doing the Goodening of No Man's Sky, I really think that he wrote a lot of the Costa Concordia, but not all of it. It's somebody else's script, but he put all of his personal touches on it and made it fucking perfect. But he is reading a script. It's a script that he stole. And they're going to cancel him. He'll only be around for a little while longer. They'll cancel him, or they might let him skate on it because he's funny. We need laughter in this world so bad that we're willing to pay the cartel for it. Comedians get away with murder. Because we need laughter in this world so fucking bad. They literally, they'll let him get away with cartel murder. I shit you not. Comedians walk on water. Because if you can actually make the world laugh, which is very hard to do, people will they'll give you the ride on plagiarism. They'll give you the ride on stealing jokes. They'll give you the ride on stealing bits. They'll give you the ride on, like Simpsons used to talk about this all the time. That's a Johnny Carson bit or whatever. They don't care. They'll give you the ride on it. And they won't let them prosecute if you steal jokes. Because comedy is considered like public domain essentially. So I bet, just maybe, that if anybody's able to dodge the fucking plagiarism bullet, it'll be him, because he actually did make us laugh. And some of these are fucking internet classics. Like the Costa Concordia is an internet classic. It's like the greatest fucking video ever put on YouTube almost. It's like that good. It's that funny. It's that well done. It's long and it's thorough. It's very good. The fucking sea captain was an asshole, you know? And he used to be genuinely fucking funny. Like 3 years ago when he didn't steal scripts. Because we know what's wrong with him. He talks about it all the time. He's extremely depressed. And they have him. Jesus Christ, you're so loud. I need you to stop being so loud. For fuck's sake, man. Do I really need some alchemist in my fucking ears pounding away for 2.5 fucking hours producing 600 fucking flasks? Fucking kick the guy. He's a botter. That's why it sounds like that. He's a fucking herbologist, fucking RMT botter, and he's producing 6,000 potions in the fucking background and ruining the fucking market, and I can hear him fucking doing it. Get him the fuck out of here, like Microsoft. Get him out of here. Get these criminals the fuck out of here now, or I won't vote for you anymore. I won't vote for either party unless you get these criminals the fuck out of here now. Get that criminal out of here. Get this criminal out of here. Get that criminal out of here. Get Microsoft out of here, or I won't vote for you anymore. I won't. I like next year. Okay. When the presidential election is gonna come around, it's gonna break my mother's heart. But I'm gonna tell her no, I'm not voting, and it's because I went on stream and I made a statement that I promised I would not vote for any of these fucking assholes anymore unless they started prosecuting the digital theft criminals. Like, Jesus Christ, I'm not allowed to sit around and produce 6,000 fucking potions for 25 fucking minutes. Why is he? Like, I'm not allowed to do that, but why is he? Because he's from a foreign country? Nah, get him the fuck out of here. Get Microsoft the fuck out of here. Get him out of here. I'm sick of them. Fuck them.
We're here today to test the launch of my new cyber rocket. With this,
I can hear that criminal fucking farming real life money in the fucking background in my ears, and it makes me sick. Get him the fuck out of here. I'm sick of your fucking lax bullshit. You try to put me in jail all my fucking life for fucking drug possession, chase me with men's with guns and car chases and all this stupid ass shit, but you let them roll? Fuck you guys. I won't vote for you. You're traitors. You let him roll, but you chase me with men with guns for smoking weed and getting high on ecstasy and shit like that. But you fucking let him roll while he makes like fucking $200 a day or more, fucking mass producing potions on some RMT because he's from a foreign country or whatever. And you let him roll, just like you let Microsoft roll when Bill Gates fucks children, causes a monopoly, and forces Windows on us. And the military.
2030. But before we...
Like, fuck you. Get these fucking despots out of here. I won't vote for you. I won't. I won't vote for you. When they ask, why aren't you voting for Trump 24 or whatever the fuck, I'm going to say because INR, and they won't prosecute the criminals that affect my life. They victimize and brutalize me all my life over crime, but they let these shitty software developers, because they're white collar and white and shit, to like just roll and fuck me all day, and I'm not going to do it with you. I will not vote for you unless you prosecute these fucking criminals. Now!
About some of the mistakes of the past.
Now, motherfucker, now! Like, the frogs are gay or whatever, fucking crazy anger or whatever, you know? They won't watch where the frogs are gay or whatever. That kind of fucking anger. Get them out of here now. I will not have these software despots destroying this planet while you sit around on your fucking hands. I won't vote for you. Make internet law and get these fuckers out of here now! Get them out of here!
To repeat them. Anyway, it was a sunny day in downtown Wuhan, and people were coughing into each other's mouths as is customary.
You prosecute me for drugs, but you won't prosecute them for billion-dollar fucking thefts and monopolies and shit, raping children. It's a savage hypocrisy, and I'll see you in court or against the wall over it. I will not vote for you. I will not watch you stand by while you let the world be criminalized by software despots. I will not vote for you. I'll put you against the wall before I fucking do that. Get these criminals the fuck out of here. Every day that goes by that I see Microsoft hasn't been, you know, absolved, I get more and more angry at my government, and I'll fucking hold it against you. I won't vote for your fucking clown puppets. I won't do it. Get them out of here now. Do your fucking jobs and get the real software criminals the fuck out of here. You know where the mafia went? They went online. They went online and became Bill Gates. I want them the fuck out of here. Get them out of here.
Going viral, douchebag. I'm a big f***ing man, and I'm gonna pull out my dick.
February 2020. The virus is everywhere. But some were sneaking out. Others not taking it seriously at all. Going about their normal lives.
Get drunk before everything closes.
It was time for drastic action. So, the mayors and
So he wrote this one, you can tell.
governors from around the world gathered together with a solution to the problem of sneaking out while grounded. Snitching hotlines.
Snitches get
Reward.
Stitches.
Simply take a
Snitches get stitches, you fucking suit dummy asshole who won't get the criminals out of here because you are a criminal. Yeah, stitches get stitches. Stitches.
picture of someone and text it to the official snitch line to put those rule breakers in their place.
Sup, boys?
Sup, boys? I'm a Republican in the South in Texas, and I don't believe in COVID China virus. And I'm out here infecting 50 people today
Over here at Wendy's.
at Wendy's. What a scoop!
Instant justice.
Some people need to get the message. Send a photo and we will make
I got 50 people sick today because I needed Wendy's.
sure that enforcement comes right away.
But naturally, many New Yorkers did not take very kindly
Ah!
to the idea.
Yep.
So, they decided to text the hotline as well. Text after text came rolling in. What a success. Let's open the
What a
first one.
success!
Surprise. Turns out people weren't just sending in tips. They were sending the
Tips
whole
of their
jar.
penis.
Oh,
Yep.
Jesus. Next one.
Oh, no.
Next.
No.
Next.
No.
Just close it.
Just
I
close
can't.
it.
It's just going
I can't. It's
faster.
just going
Text after
faster.
Text, was the same.
Text after
Pictures
text.
Of people giving the finger.
Don't
Dick
tread
pics,
on me. Don't step on snack. No step on snack.
G. Blasio memes. This
No
isn't
step on snack. No step on snack.
happening at all. Sir, our servers can't handle it. Save some of the more tasteful nudes on this thumb drive and shut it down. And so it crashed. But the snitches forgot the first rule of snitching. Snitches get unmasked by state sunshine laws. In Missouri, they have them. 2 weeks after their own snitching program went live, turned out it was all subject to public record by anyone who requested it. So not only is all of this information not anonymous or private, it's published indefinitely on a government website with zero redaction. Oh dear. Of course, I'm not going to put any of those details here. But if you live in Missouri and you're a bit curious,
Links, as always, are in the description down below.
in Washington and Louisiana, people were unmasked too. In Frisco, Texas, they made an app for snitching as well. But there was backlash and it was terminated. In LA, the mayor's infamous
Snitches get rewards.
statement was walked back. In Victoria, a couple was fined $1,500 each for going on a drive to Lake's entrance and posting photos on social media.
You there, sir? I certainly hope you've got a license.
Warned that they would be arrested. On social media.
You there, sir? I certainly hope you've got a license.
Certainly hope you've got a license.
$100 each for going on a drive to Lake's entrance and posting photos on social media.
You there, sir? This is how cops are. I certainly hope you have a license.
I certainly hope you've got a license.
Warned that if they do it again, they would be arrested.
Oblivion NPCs. Whatever that guy was on.
Except the photos were from a year ago.
We're not going to get everything right all the time, and we will make mistakes.
But worst of all is the UK.
9 coppers for one lad.
Well, you relax.
Ridiculous.
194,000 calls in a single month had been made regarding people leaving their homes without a license, and tens of thousands of fines had been issued.
The British frown down on telltales. There's even an old nursery rhyme.
Telltale tit, your tongue
Young shall be slit.
You
You all
noise, and I'm calling the police.
shall have a little bit.
Show me.
Telltale tit. Your tongue shall be slit, and all the dogs in town will get a piece of it.
Make any more noise, and I'm calling the police.
Show me what you've got. Yeah!
And yet, while normal everyday activities were being criminalized, regular crimes were being made de facto legal.
Good job.
Police do nothing around here.
Police do nothing around here.
Made de facto legal.
Good job.
Police do nothing around here.
Oh, yes, they do. Yes, yes, they do. Please do nothing around here. Swoosh.
Were being made de facto legal.
Police do nothing around here.
Damn it. Why is Grand Theft Auto so funny? It's just an inherently hilarious game. It's all this really, really like gold content stuff going on in the background. Like, for instance, okay, you're thinking about the dude who got ran over by the cop car. But there's also the Mexican, like, there's the Mexican dead lying on the fucking concrete with, like, fast food wrappers, like, propping his head up. You got to kind of wonder what happened here. Did Franklin kill the Loke dog or whatever? Did the store owner kill the Latino guy? It's just kind of weird. I'm not trying to make it a race thing. I'm just saying that's this particular image is actually sort of racist to me. It is definitely a stereotype that they are definitely fucking engaging in here, Rockstar. That is a stereotypical fucking, like, really bad white person stereotype of a Mexican. So I just had to make some racial jokes there, but I myself am not racist. I see some inherent racism here, and I'm just pointing it out. This is a terrible stereotype. And you got to kind of wonder what happened here. Did the store owner kill that gang member? Did Franklin kill the gang member? Did the cop kill the gang member? Who's the aggressor on the threat generation list here? Who's the initial aggro? Are the cops here for Franklin, or are they here for the store owner who killed the gangster Loke? Or whatever fucking Rockstar racist, and like whatever the name of this asset is probably Gangster Loke or something like that. It's disgusting, and like, yeah.
Major cities, it seemed as though everyone was going for the high score. People aren't afraid to go out on the street at night. What can we do to increase crime? I have an idea. In New York and LA, they experimented with reducing bail to 0, and it went exactly as you'd expect.
All right, I'm just gonna take this. Bye. Cops are. Remember. Oh God, the best Die Hard was Die Hard 3. And as he's leaving from the I hate blank sign, he has to bust a kid who's stealing some lady's purse, and he's like, I don't have time for this. What the fuck's wrong with you? And it's like, what? The cops are all out jacking off for some man. It's you could steal City Hall, right? You can steal City Hall. The little kid says it to him. Little 12-year-old kid's like stealing purses, and he's like, what? You can steal City Hall, and immediately the crime of the kid stealing the purse becomes the fault of the system, the mayor, the cops, the city. And it's not that he's stealing the purse, it's that they aren't stopping it. And it's funny how blame kind of transfers like that, because it is actually the purse snatcher's fault that that's happening, but we blame the pigs, and we blame the courts, the kangaroo courts, and we blame the do nothing Republican senators and all this. And
so they said any burglaries up to $1,000 worth of goods would no longer result in the police showing up to the scene. So you're telling
why is that guy sleeping on the table? Did they drug him? Well, okay. No, it's somebody. It's superimposed.
Showing up to the scene.
Yep. Bye.
So you're telling me that
they're just strolling on in. There's no like, they're not worried,
$1,000 worth of goods.
Yeah, they don't care. They're like, oh, up less than 1,000. They literally let you walk away from the crime scene.
Would no longer result in the.
Oh my God! So these guys are just strolling in. They're not scared. They don't have to hide anything. They're hiding their face, so if they get away with it, they don't have to like face any community fucking backlash or whatever.
Police showing up to.
And they're just strolling on in, no problem.
The scene.
Yeah, no, they're not even hiding or hunched down or anything. It's the middle of the night in a fluorescent light where their faces are perfectly on camera and all this, and they don't care about that. Because, I mean, it's less than 1,000, so who cares? You're not going to jail. It reminds me of episodes of the Trailer Park Boys. Theft under 1,000 was a reoccurring theme for the first 3 seasons of Trailer Park Boys, because in Canada, like shoplifting theft is like a fucking like a pandemic basically, because theft under 1,000 you can't go to jail for. So yeah, if you get caught, you got to go do court dates and pay money and all that bullshit, which I assume you can probably just skip, and sooner or later probably end up in jail if you skip too many of those court dates. But pretty much they don't make you go to jail for stealing like a PlayStation 5 or whatever. They just make you show up in court. So at that point, you could literally be out boosting as a druggie for, 6 months or something like that, 500, 1,000 a day or something like that. And at that point, you could take the stuff that you stole and hire Saul Goodman and just get your way out of the entire mess. It'd be like, he's a druggie and he's an institution person, and if he does 9 weeks in jail, will you let him out of these 35 charges? He's obviously got a drug charge problem, or drug problem and all this. And they're like, yeah, all 27 charges were theft under 1,000. Yes, we will do that.
That I can steal up to $1,000 worth of goods, and the police won't even try to make an arrest.
And they won't even try to make an arrest half the time. They're like, yeah, nah, we're out here to stop like rapes and murders. Like, that's what we're actually here to do. And stealing is kind of up to the shop owner. Like, frankly, okay, if I owned a Burger King in this era, I would literally pay an armed guard to sit there, or not a Burger King, but I don't know, what's a good example? Like, what closes at night? I don't know, like a restaurant, right? I would literally pay the $12 an hour it would take to put like a fucking nightstick in there, I would literally pay all 7 days of the week. I'd pay 2 guys to sit in there with a nightstick. I don't need them to be armed. I just need somebody to call the cops if somebody's trying to rip me off. That's all. And like, and even on the most base business now that wasn't even making $100,000 a year, I would probably seriously take a look at probably employing somebody to secure the fucking place, because the griftonomics have got out of hand. If you have product on the shelves, they're gonna steal it. I know, because I used to be a bad booster.
Maybe one day, if somehow they're identified.
But you want everyone to win.
Theft under 1,000 is retarded. We have to prosecute all theft the same, really.
A mask too.
That's stupid.
Yes.
So people walked up to the buffet and had their fill.
Oh yeah, meat. They charge too much for meat. So that was a reoccurring theme in the Trailer Park Boys. They're in there, one of the episodes, they're in there with walkie-talkies, going asleep in the freezer at the grocery market, in the freezer, and waiting like 5 or 6 hours till 2 in the morning, breaking out of the freezer, letting their friends in the front door. This was like literally a plot point on the Trailer Park Boys, letting their friends in the front door, stealing all the meat by just filling crates in the back freezer, and running out with, $4,000 worth of meat. And this was the hillbilly wedding. That was also like a reoccurring theme 4 or 5 times. That's how the hillbillies in Canada do their big like gypsy weddings. They go on down to the grocery store. They hide they sneak into the freezer. They hide there for 5 hours until everyone's gone to bed. They go let their fucking criminal homies in the front door, and they rob the place of all their fucking tobacco, all their fucking liquor, and all their fucking meat. This is one of the reasons why I love the Trailer Park Boys, because they were using, like, Mike Clattenburg absolutely did use a lot of crazy social fucking things that you would hear about on Totsie and shit like that back in 2005, and he put them into the show. And for some of us, we had lifestyles like that. I had a friend, he supported a crack habit for like 5 months by just going to Walgreens and stealing fucking electronic toothbrushes and selling them on Craigslist, or like fucking, like, I forget what he used to do it. I think it was like, what are one of those cell phone apps, like one of those cell phone apps, I can't even think of their name anymore. There used to be a cell phone app where you could just post anything, and he would sell electronic toothbrushes, and they didn't care if he was a junkie when he would sell like a fucking $90 like stolen electronic toothbrush for Sonicare, that $90, $70, $90 Sonicare for $20. Here, I got it on offer up or whatever, $20, and yeah, I'll meet you at the police station. It was, another funny part was when he had a high value thing like a PlayStation or something like that, or a guitar, he would come up on big ticket items every once in a while, because he would walk out of the store with stuff like TVs and guitars behind his back, blocking the camera and the security and the cashiers. He was literally into doing stuff like that. I had a friend who had a trench coat that had like 80 pockets in it, and he would go in the store and he would run his sleeves across the fucking like products like he was looking at them. What's this? Should I buy this or whatever? But what he's really doing is vacuuming with his hand through his sleeve and stuffing pockets inside of his jacket. And like literally, it's Safeway too, like places you wouldn't think, and doing just fine for a living, doing fine, not paying his rent, being a drug addict, whatever. He was doing fine, and like and I know this stuff exists, and you never see it in pop culture. All you ever see is bad boys, what you gonna do, and then some police brutality. That's all you ever see in terms of pop culture with this, usually, is like cops, right? So then along comes Trailer Park Boys, showing stuff like Bubbles made a living for 22 years by selling shopping carts that he had stolen from the mall nearby. And this is a systemic problem that a lot of us have been through. I had a friend who lived for 3 months and paid his rent off of stolen Robitussin bottles. Because DXM is one of the stronger drugs known to man. They call it robo-tripping. Respected. Right there in the drug aisle is one of the strongest drugs known to man. It'll fry your brain. It'll kill your personality. You'll visit distant universes and stellar planes and play poker with the gods and all this shit off of robo-tripping. Trust me, it's like right up there with DMT or something like that. And it's right there in the grocery aisles. And there were some of us who knew it and who based lifestyles off selling it and shit like that. I'm not kidding, And then, so that was something Clattenburg did with the Trailer Park Boys. He absolutely did show the dark side culture of people who would steal EMI, which is, or EI, which is, or UI, or whatever they call it, unemployment insurance, right? Checks. There was people who, They would steal shopping carts from the malls and sell them for metal. There was people who would go to the store, they would steal something, but before they stole it, they would figure out what the exact amount was by calling into the store, right? And this was a reoccurring scam that really affected the Canadian authorities really bad. Canada has some interesting fucking theft in terms of shoplifting going on pretty bad. Don't believe me? Go look at Drip. You know what I'm saying? People steal shoes. You wouldn't believe it, but they do. They steal shoes in a real and verifiably billion-dollar theft sort of like loss prevention sort of tip. You know what I'm saying? Especially in Canada. So where they don't do real crime, kind of. They don't have like gun crimes like Heat, where they have like a bank robbery shooting downtown or that kind of thing. They do sometimes, like the Parliament got shut up, but most of the time it's like really dummy clowns trying to do ghetto shit so they can pay for heroin and cocaine and shit like that, right? And so. Or trailer park boys, essentially. People who are like hillbilly or redneck and have no money and live in rural areas and live in trailer parks where they manufacture meth and steal cable and do all these like gray area theft under 1,000 things. And so pretty much the plot of Trailer Park Boys was, and I've watched this show like 50 times. It's like a college show that teaches you how to be a base criminal. It's actually very funny. And, a recurring theme on the Trailer Park Boys was theft under 1,000 for all 10 seasons. Yeah. They can't get you for that. There was a point where Ricky was running a gang of kids who literally they would distract like cops and stuff like that when they were trying to do crimes, like move like huge trucks full of marijuana and stuff like that around, because they were also all marijuana farmers, right? They would try to move huge trucks of marijuana around, but the cops were actively looking for them because they're all hillbilly idiots who get busted all the time for theft under 1,000. So the Mr. the Mr. Leahys of the world, the trailer park supervisors are always working with the cops to try to stop the Trailer Park Boys from stealing like Safeway food from the dispensary out in front of the grocery store and shit like that, or going to the airport and stealing people's luggage, or like going down the street and stealing your stuff from like your lawn furniture and shit like that. Or stealing your bikes, like stealing 20 bikes a day and selling them on Craigslist and shit like that, but not going to jail. None of these criminals go to jail. They go to jail, but it's always because they pull out a gun or something like that. It's never because of the theft or any of it. It's always because they pull out some gun, or they or they stay in some place where the cops can find them, or they just get busted by the store security in a real and verifiable way, and the cops just throw them in jail. Jail happens in Canada for this shit, but it's a lot less, like a lot more liberal. And so then, so then like there was all these reoccurring themes in Trailer Park Boys that would blow your fucking mind. Like one of them really affected me. Bubbles is sitting there crying like in the first season. And he's like, what do I do, man? Like, they don't know that I've been selling shopping carts for 22 years. They don't know that I've been stealing shopping carts from the mall and selling scrap metal to people for 22 years. I haven't been paying taxes on that. I can't go down there to the fucking office, to the unemployment office, and say I don't have a job anymore. I've got 50 cats in this trailer park. This was literally like verbatim what like Bubbles was saying. I've got 50 cats in this trailer park, and how I've fed them for 20 years is stealing fucking shopping carts from the mall. Now, this is funny, and it's hilarious, and it's very funny, and they delivered it very well, better than most American comedy. They did it very well, but it is a reality for some of these people. It's actually kind of sad. Some of them have been selling sex on fucking for Backpage for 7 years, and then suddenly the government just kills that website, and overnight they're on the streets with a crack habit and no place to go and no place to sleep and all this shit. And this was an element of the Trailer Park Boys. They were all living in cars. Stuff that I had done before, living in cars. They were all living in cars all the time. They were like, drunk, and they would wake up I have woke up in the gutter like 50 times in my life. And I'm not proud that I fell down to the streets like that, but definitely they would show stuff like that. Like Ricky would wake up drunk in the fucking gutter. His pockets had been picked. His cigarettes were gone, and he was more freaked out about that than he was the court date he had to deal with that day, the felony court date he had to deal with that day. And that's a life that I can relate to. I don't have cigarettes to deal with this. Oh my God, somebody stole my pack of cigarettes while I was sleeping. And I have a court date, felony court date. They plan to put me in jail for 10 years for this. And all this shit. And you're more stressed stressed because you don't have a cigarette to deal with the stress of being in a situation of poverty like that in the lower class than you are stressed about the felony court date, which they've been doing to you all your life. But what you can't do is not have cigarettes when you're a tobacco addict. You can't do that. You can do the court date. You can't not do not having cigarettes, which was also a really reoccurring theme in Trailer Park Boys, where your test of your friendship, your test of your fellow friends was whether they were good friends or not, was whether they would give you cigarettes or not when you were in a really bad way, because they might be going through the same shit. People from the lower class would know. I know. I like, cigarettes were like a currency for me for 17 years, and that's how they are in the jails and all that shit, right? So there was this reoccurring theme in Trailer Park Boys: 2 smokes, let's go, right? Not 1, but if you really love me, you're gonna give me 2 smokes, let's go. That's Ricky, right? 2 smokes, let's go. 2 smokes, let's go. Right? Smokes, let's go. It's not like you're asking the person. It's like not just 1 cigarette either. You're like, give me a pack of cigarettes and I'll suck your dick, basically. Because dealing with the poverty stress is like, you have to have alcohol. You have to have drugs. You have to have cigarettes. You're not getting sleep. You're homeless. You're sleeping in a car. You're a criminal. You might be facing felony charges. There might be heat looking for you, all this other stupid shit. You might be living in a tent in a national park. There's all this shit that goes on when you're actually lower class and actually on the streets. Then they talked about it. They illustrated it. And the friends who really loved them, Ricky would go up and be like, smokes, let's go. He wouldn't even ask. He would just be like, smokes, let's go. And so by the time I was, 30, and I had seen this show, I didn't even bother saying, hey, man, I have no money and I smoked my last cigarette like 2 hours ago and I'm really, really desperate for a fucking cigarette. Now, if I thought that would work, I would hit him like that. If I thought it would work, I'd hit him like that, right? But most of the time, I would just look at my friend and I'd say, smokes, let's go. Literally. And they know what I'm saying. They know the joke. They know what I mean, which is, I need a cigarette or I'm going to fucking die. And you just look at them and say, 2 smokes, let's go. And they'll do it too. The good friends will be like, here's 1 for now, 1 for later. 2 smokes, let's go. Why are there 2 nerds carrying 1 tree? 1 tree per nerd. 1 tree per nerd. Smokes, let's go. And 2 smokes, let's go. And this was actually really funny because like nobody in my whole life had ever even come close to actually illustrating what my life was like, except for Trailer Park Boys. There's no show. There's that show, but there is no show, no movie, no album, no NWA or whatever. It would be bomb when the new NWA comes out, you know what I'm saying? Kind of shit from the Trailer Park Boys, right? It would be bomb when the new NWA comes out, you know what I'm saying? That's how old that show is. They were talking about NWA. And like, and so now I'm like, man, it's good that Clattenburg, the director of fucking Black Jesus and, Trailer Park Boys and all this, was like good enough to show my lifestyle. And like, and this was an important thing for us, like the whole, like the snitching thing. I recall snitching 1 time when there was somebody's life at stake, mine. And that's it. Like, I mean, like snitching wasn't something you do where I come from. You get out pretty quick.
Grab what you want and just go.
Yep, just go. And the theft under 1,000. So you got to think about that, right? If the cashier is at the cashier station, they probably have at least cartons of cigarettes out there. And I used to treat like Safeway and King Soopers and places like this. I would come in and I would think of it as a thieves' smorgasbord. And I would open up my backpack right there in the front of the fucking store. I'm talking like right in view of the cashiers and the fucking, the special, where's the, where you go to get a receipt or, a return, like the specialty, cashier that does returns and all that. You a full view of them sometimes. You open a backpack, you take 8 cartons of cigarettes, you stuff the backpack, you zip the fucking backpack, you go back to the fucking meat aisle, you stuff like 8 cartons of bacon in your winter fucking jacket, and then you walk to the fucking energy drink, energy drink fucking place. You stick like 2 to 4 cans of energy drinks in all of your various pockets and stuff. And on the way out, you smile at the cashier as you walk past them with, I don't know, $650 worth of cigarettes. I've done that so many times in my life that I can't remember them all. And that's a booster. That's the life of a booster. And they don't talk about my life, and they shouldn't either.
What would shopping look like?
It's not like I did that for a living. That was just who I was for when I was an addict and all this other shit. Like when I was homeless on the streets, I would like literally eat full meals for full months on end from just shoplifting at 7-Eleven. And you know what? I've dropped like $500,000 at 7-Eleven in my lifetime or something like that. And I don't feel that bad about stealing a fucking sandwich and a fucking strawberry fucking cheesecake bar. No.
Welcome to Amazon Go.
And I don't think they do either. The other part about it is I work for 7-Eleven. I stole from 7-Eleven. And trust me, the 7-Eleven and the clerk don't care about stealing. They don't care about that. That's the cop's job. So really, it's more like your choices with it.
We call it Just Walk Out Technology.
They're not, though. If they're that fucking desperate, they're not pieces of shit. Your judgment is God's business. You're the piece of shit. If this kid's that desperate, you think it's greed? No. That's not greed, man. That's somebody who literally probably doesn't have a driver's license. He's in so much criminal trouble and drug business and problems. And you go, piece of shit, as he's leaving. I say, you're the piece of shit. Let God cast that fucking stone. I don't want your fucking judgment. I want you to look at what poverty did to our fucking people and look how desperate it makes them. Piece of shit. Fuck you. You're the piece of shit. Take your judgment to church, bitch.
Take whatever you like.
Sometimes when I call 911, nobody answers.
Take me to church or whatever hosier bullshit. Take me to church with that attitude. Take your judgment to God.
No lines, no checkout. No, seriously.
Shoplifters don't seem to care who's watching.
He's like, oh yeah, he's shucking and moving. He's like, oh yeah, do my job. I'm doing good here, doing good. Bye.
Go.
Yep. Wow. Wow. He was so nervous that some sound made him jump.
In the middle of the day.
Nope.
You can keep going.
Amazon Go. Just walk out. Just walk out.
Not enough crime. Release the felons.
Release the felons.
It was ordered. Anyone who had non-violent misdemeanors, serving sentences of less than a year, or scheduled to be free in 30 days
is just back out on the streets.
Or fewer, was released.
It's the veritable Republican's nightmare. The criminal, drug addict, fucking homeless hobos are running amok, you know? Yeah. If you hadn't stolen all that money as rich white collar criminals. See, I won't say white anymore. I'll say white collar because it works. It's the same thing. All that rich white collar theft that you do caused this. It's not, and that and all the doctors giving out opioids and, you know, and all the war on drugs. You caused all this. It's your fault. You say fuck you, you piece of shit, as they walk out of the store. I say fuck you for your judgment. Fix the system. It's your fault.
And the results? Predictable. One man only lasted 37 minutes before being arrested again. Another man was arrested 3 times in one day.
He wouldn't be stealing if he wasn't poor. If we ran the world the right way, I don't know why any of our citizens would be poor. We have enough resources to fund, house, educate, eat, and water as I push my basically socialism on my channel. It's my channel. I can do that if I want. I'll push my socialism. We have enough resources in this country to feed every last citizen, put them in jail. But instead of jail, how about schools? Put them in school, right? Instead of jail. And let them get a fucking degree and let them get a real fucking job and all this. We have enough resources in this country to take care of all of our poverty. All of it. It's because you guys stole it all in the white collar crime district. You know, in the white collar crime sector, and the Trumps of the world, and all the slumlords, and all the fucking bankers and demon bankers of the world. You caused this. This is your fault. They're stealing because they're desperate. You're stealing because you're greedy.
break into a vehicle, next for stealing items out of someone's front yard, and then again for stealing a vehicle, and each time he was arrested, he just moonwalked out of there.
For his 7th time, he got arrested for stealing a vehicle.
In the same day. In the same day.
He's not very good at it.
Crime rates went right through the ceiling.
Yeah, like stealing a car
Famous
is
criminal time. Tekashi 69 was released early from his 18-month sentence and instantly broke Instagram and YouTube records with his live stream and music video. Other high-profile names asking for early release include R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, Martin Shkreli, and our good friend Billy McFarland.
Yeah, the actual criminals.
Then some prisoners came together with an idea.
What's your plan?
Well, if we have an outbreak at our prison, then maybe they just have to let some of us go. Worth a shot.
Worth a shot.
So prisoners at the North County Correctional Facility tried passing around water containers and shared a mask to get it. It worked, somewhat, as 30 prisoners soon tested positive for the virus. But then administrators cottoned on to what they were doing, and none of them were released. Speaking of people who should be in prison, celebrities. We have forgotten about the important people. Guys, we're bored too. They crave the attention. They need it. Without it, they will surely shrivel and perish. But when everything gets shut down and they're trapped in their homes and can't get on TV, they begin to go a little stir.
Okay guys, now I know we're all feeling the struggle right now. Without television and press following you around, you need to make yourselves trend. We need you now more than ever. Jimmy, female Jimmy, you're the funny guys who must continue working from home. Your biggest competitor now is a Swedish boy that reacts to funny videos on his kitchen floor.
Sounds doable. It was toilet paper. It was a huge box of, I was like a kid on the toilet on Christmas morning. 60 double rolls of heaven.
You get to play that fun game, protected from the coronavirus or a botched nose job. Or both.
Everyone in here is gay.
Hello, everybody out there.
No, shut it down. How about an uplifting song to boost morale? This could be our generation's We Are the World.
Yeah, I can give it a go. I love uplifting music.
Thank you, gal.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you
Imagine there's no heaven. This is not the time when everyone's Grammy's dying, you fucking idiot.
You feel like they feel like they did something significant there.
She's so happy. Gal Gadot, whatever fuck her name is, Wonder Woman.
I lost my job at the meatpacking plant, but Gal Gadot sang Imagine.
And it's a terrible version. You guys suck at singing.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh boy, Madonna. How about an inspirational speech to lift those faces? I mean, spirits.
That's the thing about COVID-19. It doesn't care about how rich you are. It's the great equalizer. And what's terrible about it is what's great about it. What's terrible about it is it's made us all equal in many ways. And what's wonderful about it is that it's made us all equal in many ways.
Jesus Christ. Maybe just stick to singing.
Cause there's no more pasta, oh no. So we're gonna eat some fried fish.
Okay, not bad. Let's try somebody else. Keep it positive, you know.
Cause the last shit comes from motherfucking China.
Thank you, Cardi. You really are the voice of reason.
Government, let me tell y'all motherfuckers something. Guess what, bitch? Coronavirus! They just get it real!
Well, that was Vanessa. Maybe you can speak to your fans? You seem to have a lot of free time at the moment.
Like, yeah, people are gonna die. It's just terrible, but like, inevitable?
Oh god. Oh geez. We're losing them. You guys in your massive houses and complaining isn't relatable at all. We need to meet them on their level.
I've got this.
Cried for a second. And I was gonna do it by myself, and then I thought, you know what? It's important for everybody.
But before I continue, Ad time. The name's Ray Con, but you can call me Ray Con, man. Dad, look, I got you a present. Thanks, son. Let's go throw the old football around in celebration of my new present. Wired headphones with wires.
Why, son? Why? You're responsible.
No. Never again. Gotcha! Wired headphones, you dangerous bitch.
Wait, what?
Huh? I can't hear you. I have my everyday E25 Raycon earbuds in. I'll save you. Well, there's another one. Don't worry, I'll save you too. Now you two kiss. 6 hours of playtime, half the price of other premium brands. Raycon good, wires bad.
Good at advertisement.
Will you seamlessly connect your Bluetooth with me?
Can I get a closer look? Wow, I love the range of colors they come in. Of course I will. Let me just put them in right now. Wow, they fit so snug.
Wow. I think I'll put mine in as well. Just don't insert them into other holes. Hey Doc, it's happened again.
Hey Doc.
Raycon good, wires bad.
No, wait.
Cleaning is as easy as 1, 2, 3. What's wrong? Don't want to live in cyberpunk and have your brain all f***ed up by 5G? Houston? You seen it? Raycon good.
Raycon good, wireless bad.
Go to buyraycon.com/internet store and save 15% off your first order of the everyday EvE25 earbuds from Raycon. Ad over.
Onions, humble yellow onions, onion.
6-pound onion. Gripping the onion like a tennis ball.
It's time for an uplifting story. Pren Murti Pandey, 56, works at Mumbai.
Oh wait, no, I have to do
Everything was going into
a
lockdown
little bit
and
more.
he wanted to be with his family. But
What?
they were in Allahabad and he was stuck in Andheri East. Just fly. No flights. Just drive. Not so simple. Roads are closed to all non-essential travel. What to do? So he hatched a plan. I'll become an essential traveler. He started with a test case. He hired a truck and drove 200 kilometers to Pimpelgian. Bought 1,300 kilograms of watermelon.
So good.
Come to terms with the already large quantity of melons we already have.
And sent the truck back to Mumbai, where he had a cellar. Success. Wasn't stopped. Even sold the goods at a profit. We're an essential traveler now, boys. Time to do it again, but this time all the way home. So he hired another truck, got an...
This is someone else's script. This is an example of the plagiarism. Someone else wrote this, not him. Word for word, he stole it directly from some script of some internet article or some documentary or something. Maybe Twitter, we don't know. But this right here, this is not his script. And when you know to listen for it, you begin to understand. He is verbatim. I went looking for the plagiarism. This is it right here. This part of it, his jokes are him. So I'm not in the mood to cancel him. His jokes are good. He's funny, and he writes them. You know, so you couldn't say he's completely a thief. And sometimes quoting the source is necessary and a good thing. But I think this form of plagiarism that he's doing is plagiarism and is a felony and is a cancelable offense. And I hope they don't, because I don't think he's a hack. I don't think he's a biter. I think he's just trying to deliver the content verbatim. And I think there should be some defense to that. Because when it comes to the jokes or the advertisement and all the writing and everything, he put his heart and soul into that. So to call him a full-blown criminal is incorrect. He's definitely writing some of this, and he's definitely got the personality and the AAA-ness that we look for. But and all the artwork and all that stuff is him, you know. So, but the script was written by somebody else. The concepts are somebody else's. And I think with comedy especially, there is no original. There's no original. Nobody gets it. Nobody gets credit for the original or any of that. You might have come up with the joke or whatever. They might give you credit for it. But generally, comedy is about stealing. And that's unfortunate, but it is. And so I don't blame him. The real parts of the video that make you laugh, while they might be stuff that he stole off of Reddit, they are still making us laugh. And there is some intrinsic value to what it is he is doing. That's it, huh? Yep, that's it. Okay. Well, there goes that. This is my Christmas present. It is a $70 5 terabyte hard drive. I'm going to plug it in right now. Okay. Plug this bitch in. Okay, we got another 5 terabyte drive. I shall fill it. I will not do that while I'm on the games. Oh, yep. Choose to what happens with removable. Open folder to view files. Yep. Start here. Auto run. Volume icons. Set up information for the auto run. Start here for Windows. Yeah. Seagate product registration. We'll take that off the screen before you dump some personal info. Oh, I don't care about this. I don't need to do that. We're good. All right.
Permit. And this time bought 25,520 kilograms of onions. And the article says he disguised himself as an onion seller. I don't know what that looks like, so here's this. He then hauled ass 1,200 kilometers over 3 grueling days and nights through 3 states to get home. He makes it. Now to sell the goods and see my family. He stopped at the wholesale market just on the outskirts of town and tried to find a buyer for the onions.
Do you see how it sounds like it's scripted? It's because it's someone else's script, and this entire segment is someone else's script. The onion story. He's verbatim copying that off some kind of documentary or something like that. And so, of all of this, it's weird because I think he wrote the part about I don't think he wrote the snitching story. But I think he was very creative in his execution of it to the point where I don't think any of that is plagiarism at all. The celebrities, that's a story that he did plagiarize, but it's so personalized that I don't have any fault with it being plagiarized. I think this is so him that I don't think there's anything stolen in here that I have an issue with. Same with this. But when it got to the onion story, I felt like I was tricked by somebody who was delivering his own content, because he doesn't tell you what needs to happen, and he didn't know. And so that's why I say don't cancel him. Right here at this segment, right here at this little break where it goes from Raycon advertisement to onions, he needs to say, I didn't write this, here's a story from blah blah. And it's not hard to say that, nobody cares. It's not hard to say that, but you must cite your sources. So here's a story from blah blah, onions, right? And the good ones do this. The dry, boring YouTubers, they'll be like, here's a story from blah blah, and they'll quote their source right there at the start of the segment. He acts like he wrote this, and that's why they could cancel him, but I hope they don't.
Onions, onion.
6-pound onion. Gripping the onion like a tennis ball.
It's time for an uplifting story.
Time for an uplifting story, and that's the problem, right? Somebody else wrote that sentence, not him. And it's not his writer. It's like literally the documentary that he ripped off. It's going to be some 40-minute documentary that talks about the onion story.
56 works at Mumbai airport. Everything was going.
Notice how when he's reading a script, it sounds like he's reading a wiki. When he's doing something that he created, it sounds like a really good comedian. And right now, he sounds like he's reading a wiki.
And he wanted to be with his family. But
See?
they were in Allahabad, and he was stuck in Andheri East.
Right. And so, and now he changed those words because he's scared of plagiarism. But whatever he's citing, whatever he's recreating, it was written by somebody else. And that's what I came here looking for. And that sucks. Like, I needed, like, I slept on it last night. I went to bed, like, with, like lying. I was staring at the ceiling like an old, you know, there's an old image that sticks in my head sometimes of Slim Shady on the cover of Rolling Stone. And I'll pull the image of it. It was when he was high on ecstasy. There it is. That's it. I love this. I had this on my wall for, I don't know, 12 years or so. Well, no, it was 7 years before they kicked us out or whatever. But if we open the image in the new tab, here's Slim Shady, era 2001 or whatever this was. And it's hard to see the image, but there's Slim Shady, era 2001, headphones on, high as hell, pupils dilated, high on speed, young, my age. I mean, the guy's my age. He's like my age. He's the same age. So, you know, and I really respected this image. You know, it reminds me of it. And so, I don't know why I bring this up, but it's like sort of weird. It's like, that I sat last night. I know why I brought it up. I sat last night like this picture. I didn't have headphones on, but I had my head behind me, and I was just looking upwards at the ceiling. I think he's doing something like looking up at the ceiling, I think, or something. See it? He's just thinking. And I sat there like that, staring at the ceiling, being like, how much of what I do is plagiarism? And I think putting this video in the top right corner does sort of qualify me as plagiarism, but I cite the source. I thank the person. I cite them. I give them the like. You know, I sub to their channel always. I cite the source. And I let them spin. And I don't put words in their mouth. And I'm having like a personal crisis about what it is that I do, because it's not my intention to step on other artists. Of all the people in the world that I respect the most, it's artists, especially YouTube artists, because this is an art form. It's not some fucking, you know, it's not some fucking factory floor. It's an art form. So. Like, I don't know what to do about all this, but I know that he is engaging in plagiarism here. And it sucks because it's like digital plagiarism. He took someone's book and he stole the chapter and he read the chapter verbatim. And that's plagiarism.
Just drive. Not so simple.
Now, the inflections, the comedy, the images, the business, the respect, the people, the connections, the laughter, the writing, the blood, sweat, and tears, the legal, the conception, the themology, the editor, the video production, all that stuff. I said a lot of things because it is a lot of things, is Internet Historian. One couldn't say that he's a fraud. Not at all. But you could say that he is a thief. And that's unfortunate because I don't think he set out to rip anybody off. I don't see the intent here. I think he's trying to regurgitate information to us in a comedic fashion so we can be edutained. And especially, and it sucks, but I mean, winner's going to win. This is the lesson to take away from this, right? Winners are going to win, right? And so this guy, he's going to win, I think, because winners are going to win. And I want to back him on his bad behavior and not cancel him. Now, that might not be what happens, but I'm just telling you where I fall on it. I want to back him on his bad behavior and request that they open the segments with the source. That's it. I don't think that's that much to ask, and I don't care if they're regurgitating edutainment at me at all. Frankly, I don't care. He's a lot more popular than whatever source that he stole is. He reaches a lot more people. He is the one out on the front lines trying to get the work done in terms of actually edutaining us. He's doing better than whatever documentaries like fucking script that he's ripping off right now. And there's this argument in me of like, I'm actually more bothered if he were to take the information and put some skew on it. I'm actually more bothered if he were to change it than if he were to plagiarize it. Believe it or not, I'd much rather he just quote the documentary word for word and steal it and just give the credit at the start of the segment than if he were to put his own spin on it, change words or change fact. And this was something that, like, this video that I watched last night was revolutionary for me. I think it is like the best video I've ever seen on YouTube as a creator, because it was like, Jesus Christ, the things that I do are extremely bad. They're like kind of bad. They're like sort of theft. The plagiarism in you video, it was 4 hours because it needed to be, and he's still doing it. You know, he shouldn't need to do this. He shouldn't need to do this, right? He can easily just cite the source of all the. He brought 3 content providers. Cinemassacre is a thief. Cinemassacre is a thief. Illuminati is a thief. Internet Historian is a thief. And this guy, I forget his name, but there was like a gay activist who was just straight up quoting gay literature and gay documentaries, like verbatim, reading their script on his content. Which honestly, I don't care about him doing that. I don't need him prosecuted. I don't need him canceled. I don't care about him trying to educate his constituency or it's not a constituency, but these days it almost is. It's like a demographic, right? He's trying to educate his demographic about the true politics and ways and means and bylaws of the gay community and what's acceptable and what's not and what is and what isn't and what Disney's doing and what Disney isn't doing and all this stuff for all their image and all their stuff. Now, it's plagiarism because he full-blown verbatim rips off the entire documentary and reads it back to you because he's a lazy YouTube star. They're all lazy YouTube stars. I don't really blame them. They should write their own shit, or at least have the chat GPT do it. Have the if you tell the chat GPT, I need a translation of this script that is not plagiarized and is entirely different words, you could get a version of that script that is not plagiarism. And that's the problem here. I think the real issue here is that our AI is not strong enough to actually support our quote-unquote plagiarism, which is a needed, valuable resource. And I'm not saying plagiarism is needed and valuable. I'm saying the edutainment is needed and valuable, and it's important that it is on YouTube and is educating our kids and telling them what gay culture icon politics are and what fucking, what it was like during COVID and what it was like during, the cave in Louisiana or whatever it was and all this other stuff. That stuff's edutainment. It's good for your brain. You learn things. You grow your brain. You learn something about the world. You learned a little bit about socioeconomic politics and how humans are likely to act in times of crisis like COVID or the cave, right? How the media acts in times of crisis like during COVID in the cave. And the reason that I bring this up is when we go back to, and I'm going to get off this video because I watched it on my channel like 4 times because I do like Internet Historian, right? We come back here and we look at the video list and we cry because we think, Jesus Christ, this man's a criminal. They're about to probably kill his career. If nobody else, YouTube might demonetize him. We might never see this guy again. It's really tragic. This word right here, the re-upload, is like the smoking gun on his entire criminal enterprise, and he committed fraud by re-uploading the video that he stole. And so that word re-upload right there is the nail that YouTube and the community is likely to use to cancel him. If they don't full-blown demonetize him, they will definitely cancel him, I think. And if they don't, it'll be a labor of love where people like me will come back and say that it was extremely important that I saw the video Man in Cave, and I don't mind that he stole it directly from a documentary. I don't care if he did that. Verbatim, it's fine. I don't mind that he did that. I'll watch the original documentary. I don't care. The Costa Concordia, I'll watch the original thing. I don't care. I don't care that he makes money off of rehashing things. I never would have known about this stuff without him. He reached an audience that a lot of these other documentaries are just too dry to reach. They're frankly boring NPR people that cannot appeal to the pop culture, MTV, fragmented, fucked up, drug, fucking prostitution, fucking, like fucking generations. They can't speak to us. The 6-second attention span, fucking gonzo, did drugs all their life, like prostitute fucking people. They're not, you know, they're not reaching us. This guy is. They aren't. The teachers aren't reaching us, but this guy is. So, like, you know, I don't know about canceling him, but I know that this stuff is important. The fall of 76 was important to me. Now, somebody else wrote the fall of 76, not him, but he delivered it like a fucking great 25-minute short film that was like award winning.
Taking the best items in the game, then selling those items on a black market of sorts. At first, they tried the usual approach, banning people who had some of the best items in the game. You spent 700 hours just to get the best gun? Die, cheater!
Oh,
next, they put in a system where
God.
players would get tagged if they ever entered the room, and they banned those players. That wasn't much better because people would just start using Smurf accounts.
This is him reading a fucking documentary script or some kind of blog or some kind of something or another. This segment is plagiarism. You can hear it when you listen to it. He's reading the Wikipedia of what happened in the controversy of the fall of 76. Now, I don't like this video. I love this video. Some of the best shit on YouTube I ever fucking saw. But the fucking subject content killed one of my fucking dreams. And so you can see how some of us as video game nerds might even have like a vendetta with him over this. Some of us in the 76 scene might really hate this guy. I know that I would stake my life that there is somebody playing Fallout 76 right now. And I know how much you guys all thought that was a piece of shit game. I don't care what you fucking think. I think that's a top 10 game. I don't care what you think. There's no game with as much content as Fallout 76 except for EVE Online, FFXI, and World of Warcraft. Like 76 has the same amount or more content than World of fucking Warcraft. It's absolutely all there for you to go see right now for $20 or whatever. It's all there. You know, you guys can lie to yourselves and say that it's not a good video game, but it has thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of entertainment, just non-repetitive entertainment. Well, it's repetitive, but it's not the same, right? It's not one and the same. Any of the monuments or any of the things that happen, it's actually genuine original content, thousands of hours of it. And so the fall of 76 might jade a lot of people who had never played Fallout 76 before. And I have an issue to pick with Internet Historian, but is he telling the truth? Yes. And listen to the exploits that he talks about. Is he telling the truth? Yes. But while he talks about this exploit, you can see how this might be a divisory or like a divisory issue or dividing issue in the community and stuff. I don't like what he did to Fallout 76. I've got some bones to pick with him personally. He tried to kill one of my fucking dreams. You know, I love the man. I love his work. Whatever. I'm inclined to let him ride on the plagiarism and shit. I like his work, but he caused me to have some internal questions about Fallout 76 and all these other things. He's a good content provider, like genuinely good. He caused a lot of problems in my life and he solved a lot of problems in my life. He's a good guy. I'll speak for him. I doubt he'll ever see this on a video, but I don't care. I mean, I'm publishing it to YouTube. Maybe he will see it in 10 years or something like that. I feel so bad about this because we have a hunger for this. We have a hunger for his content. He's got to get it from somewhere. If he were to write it all, he'd have to be 10 people. You know how much money it is to employ 10 people? If you're paying him a shit pay of $25,000 a year, employing 10 people is $250,000 a year. He's got to get the content from somewhere. I have some sympathy for him.
Quick with a little
sympathy for the devil because he is the devil. Somebody else wrote this. These words that he's saying right now, he stole these words from somebody. Usually we're cold and heartless with the criminals. But see, the problem is I want him to tell me what they said. I'm open. I'm receptive to it. My butthole cheeks are open. They're not clenched. Like, you know, take my money or whatever. Like I want him to re-deliver what somebody else had to say about Fallout 76. I do not fault him for doing so. Please do not crucify him. The same with the gay activists they talked about, the same with Illuminati and all this. I don't wish them to cancel these people. We need this information however he got it. We need it. I had no idea that these exploits existed until the fall of 76. Now, he didn't write this script, but or at least this segment, he didn't write this segment. I can spot it a mile away. He's reading the wiki. You know?
Patient glitch to get a ton more of those items.
But it sucks when the criminals, like, okay, I have put my people in my life through some terrible, terrible heartache before over my criminal enterprises and endeavors and convictions and all that shit. I've done it. I've been there. I put my mother and my family and my friends and my inner circle through it. I've done it just like him or whatever. I've been convicted of crimes before. It sucks, but I have. And like, so, like, speaking as a fellow fucking criminal, it really hurts when somebody does this sort of crime. It hurts more. I care more a lot about this than I do about shoplifting or something that he was covering in the virus video. It sucks when they do this. He stole a career. It sucks. Fucking crucify him, cancel him. But I still love him, and I really feel this way about cancel culture. It happens every day. Same with Shane Dawson and all these other people, Jeffree Star, Toddy, all this. I told this to my ex, and I meant this to her. I said it in a way where I don't think it stuck out with her. She didn't record it or memorize it, but when I wrote it to her, I said it in a very specific way that I had hoped that she would listen to. And I don't think she did, because she's a very busy person and distracted, and that's okay. But I'm going to repeat it. Do not cancel the things that you love. Do not cancel the things that you love.
Then transfer that stuff.
You will have a hard, cold time with it. You will be so sad. I'm sad to cancel this guy. I don't want to, but maybe we should.
To your main account.
They threw me in jail for much less. Much, much less.
And you're good to go.
Fuck them. Put them in jail then. They put me in jail for much, 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 much less. Put them in jail then. You understand how conflicted I might be about it? They put me in jail for much, 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 much less. Fuck this guy. Put him in jail. You know, and that sucks. There's the cold, hard side of me where I'm like, oh, the circumstances that I faced for my trespasses and transgressions were far worse than whatever this rich person is going to receive for shit that was 1/20th of the severity. Fuck that shit. Fuck them. Crucify them. And there's your weird, bipolar, two-sided, fucked up, fucking split personality, one's sky, one's cat, fucked up bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there it is. But it's like, I'll smack you with one hand and hug you with the other. I hate it, but I mean, that's how a good judge should be.
Bethesda then takes out this level 1 and calls it mission accomplished. And you've just beaten
fucking
the game.
Stealing. Fucking
So
stealing.
the continued. Bethesda is running out of ideas to solve it. There's a lot of speculation in the media and among players about how exactly people are getting in, but no one except for the exploiters knows for sure. That said, Bethesda needs to act fast before it ruins the economy of the game. So they wrote another email and sent it out to the Smurfs. Hello, Cheetah. Do you want to tell us how you did it, and we might unban you, please? Should we not hear back from you, the account will simply remain suspended. It's not known whether this approach worked, but from what I've seen, it's still possible to get into the dev room. November 22nd, 2018. Just a week after the release, the game goes on discount. From $60 to $40, to $35, to $30. You can find it for $15 on eBay, and in Germany they're straight up giving it for free when you buy a PlayStation controller. Also, some stores are just zip tying it to other products. But to Bethesda, it's worth selling the thing at a price close to zero, because it brings people into the atomic shop, which is where the real margins are, and it inflates the poor sales figures. Let's have a look at those. The latest figures show 76 sold less than a sixth of what Fallout 4 did. Not good. There's also been a massive oversupply of hard copies. Although what's the point of a hard copy when the thing is just a cardboard disc telling you to redeem an online code?
Yep.
And while sales are low, returns are high. Immediately upon release, people began asking Bethesda.
Where's the disc? Where's the disc? I bought a disc. Why did I get a piece of cardboard with a code on it? Nah, where's my disc, you fucking theft artists, you junk dealers? Where's my disc?
Not on Steam. It's on Bethesda's own platform. So they have all the control. If players only played the game for a few hours, then generally they'd get their money back. However, it came out that people were sometimes getting refunds after a full 24 hours of play. Quite generous. But then word about this spread to forums. Then to Reddit, and a post got 12,500 upvotes informing people that this made pretty much everyone eligible for a refund, and the comments told them exactly how to do it. Bethesda was flooded with requests for refunds. And their response? Shut it down, lads. No one gets a refund now. Everyone go home. Show's over. Robot customer service man engage.
Customers who have downloaded the game are not eligible for a refund. We apologize for the inconvenience. Die.
A few things followed. First, people got mad. One hardcore gamer even trashed a GameStop for refusing his refund.
Thank you for calling GameStop. This is Brian. How can I help?
First, people got mad. One hardcore gamer even trashed a GameStop for refusing his refund.
Thank you for calling GameStop. This
Yeah. Thank you for calling GameStop. This is corporate trying to make sales while this guy just destroyed our store. The sales are far more important to us than the guy destroying our store. How would you like to purchase our products today?
Brian, how can I help you? Thank you for calling GameStop. This is Brian. How can I help you?
Oh, Brian.
Of an overreaction, but probably also fake. Second, the media. And third, a class action lawsuit. Their inconsistent refund policy and terms of service may not be strictly legal. November 27th, 2018. Miglatio and Rathod LLP filed a class action suit on behalf of customers. Media quickly picked up on that. Their main argument is that it's a sometimes unplayable game owing to its technical problems, then they're refusing refunds, and that Bethesda is engaged in a strategy to release it anyway and then slowly patch their way into a more playable state. Updates on this lawsuit are slow, so I'll keep you informed on the second channel. Ad time.
Ad time.
Look, there's a meteor headed straight to Earth. Oh my god.
Fucking fall of 76. What the fuck?
A lot of people have been burned by James, not just in terms of having their writing or videos stolen, one even giving him money to find out he was stealing from them, but on a basic level, liking someone's work and funding them only to realize you're funding plagiarism is humiliating. James has become one of the biggest LGBT YouTubers in the room, essentially absorbing all the support and attention that would have otherwise gone to people who actually do work. Other gay video essayists have to come up with their own opinions and actually write them. They can't compete on volume with a guy who's willing to rip off dozens and dozens of other people. Many of the people he's copied were paid very little, and in some cases not at all, for their original material when they wrote it.
Yeah, they don't
were
pay.
hoping their writing would be
Pay? What do you mean pay? They don't pay for this. Nobody pays for these things that they steal. No, nobody pays a cent for any of that. There's no transaction where, trust me, it would actually be fairly difficult to pay the person for that fucking video that you're stealing. You'd have to contact them. You have to be like, I have decided upon some kind of fucked up amount that you probably won't agree with as to what your fucking work is worth, and I have sent you that money through PayPal or whatever. And the guy's going to be like, my work is blah, blah, and I think it is worth a lot, and I would like a little bit more than what you paid or whatever. And the whole thing stinks of like, no, nobody pays for this ever. And I think that is actually a fairly, I hate to say this because it comes up a lot with people from his generation, that is fairly naive It's naive to imply that any of these fucking plagiarists pay for anything that they steal. It's naive. You'd have to email the person. You'd have to be like, I'm using your work without your permission. Can I pay you? And that amount, I'd like to set it because I've only got a certain amount of money in the budget for this or whatever. Well, how much would you like for this or whatever? And yeah, that happens with like Nabisco and like famous rock songs and stuff like that. And that's big copyright and all that. But it doesn't happen down here at the YouTube level. All they say is, no, do not use my work without my permission. No, I can't put a price tag on it because then, you know, the price tag would be set all the time and all this, and no, you can't buy it. Right? That's like what the general answer is. So this whole fantasy about like, oh, he didn't pay for it. Yeah, they never pay for it. That's what plagiarism is. They don't ever pay for it. And how would they conduct a transaction like that? Is there a store that says that, oh, these 3 paragraphs in this documentary that I wrote are for sale, and when you check out, you can pay for a copy of the 3 paragraphs I had in my documentary that you read verbatim on your YouTube video? No, there's no sale. There's no store. There's no money. If you contact that guy and you say, I'm going to use your work without your permission, they're going to sue you. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, but it's just like kind of crazy. This whole premise about not paying is really fairly naive. Yeah, nobody's ever paid $1 for this stuff that they're stealing. No. I doubt there's ever been $1 transacted from these stolen YouTube videos ever. I doubt anybody ever actually like makes remuneration. They'd have to straight up cite the source and get the source to be okay with them using the person's likeness and copy of their video. That never happens because that's always owned by some corporation or something like that. They can't, they never give you permission to just impersonate a celebrity and say what they say and copy their scripts and, or writing or any of that stuff. They can't, you know, that's not how this works. Nobody pays for this.
And result in future work and more of a career. And in a way, their good work was recognized, but only by James. How much recognition do you think they got when James read their words without crediting them? And
Zero.
on the other hand,
$0.
how much money has James
Zero.
made from them?
A lot.
How much money has he made in fundraising to start a film studio?
And how much has he paid? Zero. How much has he made? A lot.
Films? Gay writers are already poorly recognized for their work and contributions. It's a common problem. James should know about this. In Code Breakers or Queering Cinema or whatever it'll be called next time, James has a surprisingly eloquent section about how gay people keep going missing from history and being forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
This part was stolen too.
So as we start out on our lifelong personal journeys, how do we discover our queer identity
Whitewashing.
if we don't know much about those who came before us?
Stephen Spinks's column is extremely moving to read and genuinely important.
Yep.
And no one watching James's video had the chance to learn his name. James made a lot of money repeatedly re-uploading a video about the erasure of queer people, and he did it by erasing queer people. I guess when he renamed it Queering Cinema by any means necessary, he meant it. Every re-upload, the credits get longer. The list of people he's conned grows. The works he's stealing from aren't doing quite so well. This column was written in 2019 for Midlands Zone magazine, the UK's biggest regional gay publication. Due to the impact of the pandemic, Midlands Zone ceased production in 2020. This year, their official site went down, along with its archive of articles like this one. Googling the words James stole now gets you no results. I only found this plagiarism because I noticed it before the website fell off the internet. Good writing about queer living is hard to find and easy to lose. And in obscurity, it becomes even easier to pretend it was yours. None of the money he makes will go to the people who wrote the great lines his viewers enjoyed. They get to rot in the very obscurity he pretends to criticize, while James takes all the oxygen for himself to promote only himself and position himself as a crusader for real representation, while giving
I see people
speech
doing
he
this
stole
all
about
the
how gay people
time.
keep going missing from the story. I wonder how that happened.
It provokes a deep and meaningful question, I think. What is the real, tangible impact of gay erasure?
There is something a little bit soul-crushing about watching a man be paid thousands and thousands of dollars to literally plagiarize the phrase, "What is the real, tangible impact of gay erasure?" This is the impact. I don't know what I'm supposed to do about this. I don't even know if I should be making this video. I was just trying to double check two or three old plagiarism accusations.
Yep.
And I ended up finding a whole bunch more, and
this. Yep.
I have functionally made a drama video about some guy.
Yep.
And worse, if this video goes up and is monetized and gets views, I have been paid, financially rewarded for making this. I don't find that acceptable. Especially not when the story is really about people who were never compensated for their work being stolen. So to make sure I have no financial incentive to make a video like this again, I'm going to be dividing any of the ad revenue this video makes among the creators James stole from. I'll be conducting a thorough examination.
Yeah, and he conducted himself well. He was like, I can't profit from the destruction of your guys' careers unless it goes to fix the people who you hurt. And that's how a grandmaster susses things out. My respect for him doubled or tripled. That is how I would have dealt with it as well. It's genius. His editor probably came up with it. I think she's a genius. Let's fix some wrongs with the wrong. I'm not looking to make money off this particular video. They can have that. The victims can have that. I need this to stop. I don't want them to steal anymore. He's right about that.
Every video James has posted, including the many he has deleted I can find archives of, and contact everyone I can. At least the stuff he got from that weird right-wing guy isn't in the video, so he technically wasn't stolen from and doesn't need to be paid.
Yeah, we don't want the right wing. We don't want the right wing in our this is not our. We don't want the right wing in the gay media. We don't want the right wing in the gay media. That's going to be a wolf in a sheep's clothing. It's going to be somebody trying to actively destroy their community. Get them out of there. Get them out of there. Get the Republicans out of here. Get the bigots out of here.
It also occurs to me now that I will have to make a substantial donation to Wikipedia. Something that really got to me.
I'm kidding. I love all my people or whatever, and it takes all kinds to make up a fucking society, so whatever. I'm just saying, get their attitude the fuck out of here. I don't want to hear it anymore.
James pitch himself as the queer creator to support. Making YouTube queerer entails giving him and his movie studio your money, and not the other talented people who have a fraction of his support. He extremely rarely recommends or speaks positively of any other creators, as if to him fellow members of his community are competitors. He acts like no one else is talking about these issues, and no one else sees things his way, even though he's...
It's a diva. Somebody who's self-obsessed and believes that they're the best thing there. I'm one. It's a requirement. If you want to do this, you have to believe that you're the best. And I do. You know, I think everybody does. It's part of the, you know, I don't fault him for his ego. I don't think, that would be hypocritical of me. I had that ego of I'm doing this, I'm the best, you know, and until me, there wasn't anybody. And I think that's a reoccurring theme in successful people. And if he believes that he's the best, I don't know if that's really a sin. I think it's, you know, that's just him being self-confident. Now, what happened to you? Oh, there we go.
So obviously people do. The trickle-down effect of this behavior is a little upsetting. From the look of his comment sections, his devout fans believe him when he says there's no one else doing what he does. It's a manipulative strategy. Right. Some young queer people feel underrepresented because the main guy they watch says they are, and that sucks to see happen. So I want to recommend some of my favorite queer creators in case James fans who made it this far need to...
I'm sorry, but I have like zero interest in this, and it sounds like homophobic, but it's not. It's just I'm straight and I have zero interest in it. FD Signifer. Thank you for the excellent content for the stream. I'd like to sub to your channel. This video is called Fuck the Police.
In 1988, NWA released a song titled Fuck the Police. And it still might be the most subversive, radical, and
fuck the police! Fuck the police! Fuck them!
What up? I got something to say.
I got something to say. Straight from the underground.
Which is funny because over time, the members of NWA proved to not be all that radical. But what they were at that time was provocative. They knew how to rile people up, and they knew what they were talking about.
dusting off my shit like gonna, hey, dusting off my, like Craig gonna, yeah, dusting off my shit like Craig gonna, hey, this extortion, nigga. Okay, check, yeah, okay, keep that bingo on.
So you can't see it right now. You can't see it at all, actually. But right across from where I'm sitting is a big-ass jail.
Brad, thank you. Channel 2 investigates possible prison corruption here in Atlanta. Today, whistleblowers testified on Capitol Hill about major security and safety problems at the Atlanta Federal Penitentiary.
It's a really huge, ominous building, and it's right in the middle of the city. It's in the middle of a regentrifying part of the city. Right across from this jail, they're building luxury townhomes. And this little section, this little area of street art is actually a popular place for people to film videos. There was a viral Divine 9 video filmed here a couple of years back. This is, you know, one thing about Atlanta is that it embraces street art. And so you have like this mural, you have luxury townhomes, you have some really nice eateries and restaurants not too far from here. You got gentrifying neighborhoods going this way, and in the middle of all of that is a big-ass federal prison. And I can't show it to you because I'm pretty sure filming a prison is illegal.
Yep.
And considering the nature of this video,
I believe you're
niggas
right.
not taking no chances.
No,
Problems here for years. Well, today, a Senate subcommittee in Washington, D.C. paints a picture of prisoners running the show here at the U.S. Penitentiary in Atlanta, and prison officials doing little to stop the corruption.
The would-be dangerous criminals in this facility for years would often escape the prison to go get Taco Bell or see their girlfriends and then return back to the prison through numerous holes in the prison's gates, like teenagers sneaking in and out of their house after curfew to go hang with their friends.
Federal prosecutors say he snuck out of the Atlanta pen at least 3 times to see a girlfriend, then sneaking back each time. This confirms an ongoing problem at the prison where inmates are able to escape easily, and there is seemingly very little the guards can do about it.
The prison was so poorly run that just a few years ago, its population was reduced to less than 150 prisoners in this huge building, just so the federal government could clean house in the prison's leadership and administration. The entire thing is an absolute farce. But to the layman that missed the news coverage, that doesn't know anything about how prisons work, they might just pass by it. When I drive past this prison with my kids, they often ask, "Daddy, what is that building?" When I told them it was a prison, they responded with something along the lines of, "Oh, so there's bad guys in there." To which I answered, "No, son.
No.
Not really."
No.
As you can imagine, as much as possible, I try to impart a lot of knowledge to my children. If you ask my son about the British, he's probably going to say something about the ravages of colonialism. I am bringing them up right. This is to counteract a lot of myth-making that is ingrained in the education systems and media that our children consume.
I'm gonna make the world a better place.
But even in doing that, it's a bit harder to perfectly explain the messed up nature of crime, justice, and prisons to a child. And it doesn't help that these children are already developing a perspective on what America's justice system is based on common opinions about them that they see on TV.
Cops, Central Organization of Police Specialists. Fighting crime in a future time. Protecting Empire City from Big Boss and his gang of crooks.
Much of our culture is shaped by ideologies that look at issues of justice simplistically. Things are either right or wrong, good or bad, legal or illegal.
Sometimes it seems laws are made to keep us from what we want to.
On the contrary, Kent. It's law that allows us to live in freedom. Real freedom.
Common opinion says that people that do wrong things deserve punishment, and punishment is always good if it fits the crime. This is a core feature in our society. It is in my son's school environment. Hell, it's even to an extent in our home environment. Everything from Batman to Paw Patrol contribute to a message about crime and policing and justice in ways that hide the reality of how those systems actually work. The concept of crime and punishment is incredibly complex, yet the average person who has minimal connection to it looks at it with no more complexity than my 10-year-old son. And that's a problem. Because as we look at the nature of crime, justice, and prisons, we see not just human atrocities and injustice being done to people with little to no regard, but we also see a core aspect of systemic oppression operating in plain sight with almost everyone's approval and consent. So today I want to contribute to fixing
Not my
that.
approval,
I'm going to
not
bite off
my
some
consent.
really small chunks of this issue and present it to you not as the end-all be-all solution or explanation of what's wrong with police and prisons, but as a primer on why all of us need to be looking at prisons with the concept of justice differently. And to help that, as I often do, I got the support of actual experts with a variety of angles and knowledge on the subject.
I think why people want these simple
He's not
answers a lot
fucking
of
around or
times is
plagiarizing
because
at all.
It's easier versus having to actually do the work and work through the trauma and the harm that happens within our communities.
This is the only place where I can, the only
Prison
person I can
abolition.
demonstrate this level of
I can see
authority
how
with.
prison abolition could derive. You could derive a lot of satisfaction out of something like that. I'm gonna die. That's okay. Put it away. Just keep on running. There you go.
People often do that with kids, and kids are
Prison
wrong in their
abolition.
personhood. So when
I
you
love
add
it.
the level to that.
Yeah, like I don't think I want to abolish prisons. I think I want to raise the standard on what we put people in jail for. And I'm not talking about theft. I'm talking about well, the legalization of drugs.
The fact that we are already ingrained and indoctrinated in our society to carceral and punishment and all these things are so tied together, it makes natural sense to us. In fairness to us, it's not that we use the police or violence or any of these other things in a way that others don't. It's just the consequences of when we do it, right? Because white people can call the police all the time.
The thing to remember is that even without the media or like propaganda, that's going on, right? We are kind of like, even if you never turned on a TV, you never saw any movies, which like obviously is not a thing, but even if you did that, that's kind of how our society is set up. Well, like there has to be this level of buy-in with the police where we just assume that they're good, because if we don't, that's like horrific. And now all of a sudden we have to do like all of this like recontextualizing over everything. I think that it is just a lot easier, and people are a lot more willing to buy into the system and just have stuff that reaffirms that the system that they live in is good, that they live in a just world. And this is something that makes TV and film and the cops like a perfect marriage.
Prison abolition started in prisons. I just want that to start. And I don't want to say that even on some corny like, oh, we got to center the most marginalized. No, like it started in prisons for a reason, because they were developing their own intellectual thought. So we should see prisoners who were engaged in abolition or engaged in others, organizing against prisons as intellectuals, as thinking people, not just as props for our whatever we trying to do, and by developing in prison, it had a much more revolutionary tinge to it than what it's become since it's been popular since like 2020 or whatever.
Historically, black folks have always had issues with cops, going back to the first form of policing being slave overseers and eventually slave bounty hunters. But still, never has our feeling on a relationship between the police and black people, or hell, all the people, really been more effectively communicated. I mean, it's a reason you never heard a single rapper yelling, "All cops are bastards." Pretty sure most black people don't even know what ACAB is unless a liberal come and explains it.
He has time now to think about what he's done. And I believe he'll turn out all right.
So before getting into the heavier, explicit details about these things and the core arguments and the research and the haymakers about police and the courts, etc., first we got to hold up a mirror. Because I have one overall goal, which is for everyone that watched this video to become a supporter of ending policing as we know it and abolishing all prisons. But to really do that, the first thing we have to recognize is that the biggest asset the police and these systems have is our consent and faith in them as institutions. Even folks that know firsthand how trash these systems are will think that it's going too far to say we're going to abolish prisons. The idea of having no justice system, no law and order, that's ridiculous and even dangerous. We need the police to protect and serve, and we need prisons to put away dangerous people so that they can't hurt anyone.
Abolishing the NYPD, that'd be suicide.
But yes, they're needed. I push for them to be here.
There's too many criminals out here, man. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't feel safe.
No, we need control in the city. So I think the police are necessary.
We'll get to most of that bullshit a little later.
Me too.
I'm not saying that we won't ever need a form of community level security, or that crime will never happen in a world with no police, or that we won't have to figure out
I'm
what
saying
to
the
do
current
about
system
said
is
crime,
fucked.
and more
Get it out of
importantly,
here.
victims of crime. Nobody who is serious about abolition believes these things. But I do want to challenge why we fear this mythical, lawless reality so much in the first place, and why we think the police in our current court system is responsible for the level of safety or justice we currently have. I want you watching this right now to consider just how much actual experience you have with the police and the criminal justice system. Because of the way the algorithm works and what I know about my audience, the chances are if you're watching this video on YouTube, you're watching as a person of relative privilege, probably a relatively decent level of education, which means you probably have not had much engagement with the criminal justice system at any level. If you're black, there's a higher likelihood you've been profiled by police before, pulled over, and maybe even detained. But have you ever been arrested? Have you ever been convicted? Do you have people in your family or close to you that have done time? Have you seen the long-term effects of prison on those individuals when they finally come home? Have you ever been victim of a crime and realized how difficult it is to actually get justice? Ever experienced the overall indifference of the police to your well-being after you've called them to come protect and serve?
A number of victims who report a sexual assault are treated insensitively, are not believed, are blamed for their assaults, and are traumatized by their experience with police.
I started to feel like a victim because of my interactions with the police. They didn't believe me. They made me feel ashamed for questioning them. They made me feel like I was making something up.
Have you ever been systematized or even been in court custody or had a child in defects? I ask these questions because if you're watching this, it's highly likely you have little to no experience with these things.
He's now aging out of Georgia's foster care. Christian considers it a legal system that failed him. But the chaos from moving to foster home to one day this year, somewhere truly unexpected. This Department of Family and Children's Services office is where he was living.
It didn't make sense to me why this was happening to me. When I came in, I saw a lot of blankets on the floor, a lot of things on the floor. There was not a lot of food in there.
DFACS, the agency tasked with protecting kids, housed foster youth in its county offices for months on end.
We're staying here because they don't have nowhere for us to go.
The majority of us who lend power to the system don't really know what this system feels like in real life.
I do. We are passively consuming
it.
escapist content over and over again. It tends to become our main contact point, especially for like white people or people who don't have a lot of interaction with the police. The main way you interact with the police is through these cop shows. That is their main contact point. So like they think about the police, they think about crime, and they're like, well, I saw this on Law and Order once. And you know, that might not be realistic, but that's like what I got.
Going back to my sons, they're lucky enough that their main engagement with the police are from security officers in their schools. And they're all black men with smiling faces and gentle, strong demeanors. And I wave hi and talk to them every day as I drop my boys off. And that's the natural cognitive dissonance that you might have toward individual police officers and the societal role that they inhabit. And I'm not saying that that cognitive dissonance needs to go away and that you have to see all police officers as demons. And most people don't feel that way. But most people also don't have to engage with the full reality of the system, and they think that police only exist in this positive, helpful space that we are lucky to experience depending on the background and privilege that you have right now. When people get money, much like in ICU, they tend to have a very different perspective on how the police treat people. Ice Cube started out as fuck the police, and now he's doing interviews with Tucker Carlson talking about bootstrap politics because Ice Cube is now a very rich man. And the person he was when he made that song is a very different person than who he is now.
If you are a person who is not regularly interacting with crime or
I'm that same person
poverty,
they fucked.
then every time you see a dark
for
street,
no reason,
a dark alley or something, You're seeing it on TV.
3 out of 4, 1031 on foot. Westbound, I'm Dayton.
And that means something awful is probably happening in that alley, which means that even if most alleys are fine, every time you see one, you are scared of it because the only thing you've ever seen happen in them is like murder. You tend to like fear things like that. I've recognized this with like my extended family. Like they're scared of cities because that's where the crime is. Because that's the only time that they ever see cities is on TV and these cop shows.
We talk about prison abolition. We talk about trying to actually address the problems that are really inside our community. You know, we started to think about transformative justice and how to deal with conflicts and harm that is done within the community.
Oh, I
because
hope
a lot
I
of
saw
people
that.
think of crimes, they're thinking of harm, right? Because most crimes, let's be real, aren't really about harm. Like, for example, a lot of people are arrested for drug crimes, which isn't about like you harming someone. Nobody's going out to harm somebody when they're using drugs. Nobody's going out to harm somebody even when they're selling drugs. Now, you could argue that people using drugs are harming themselves, and then selling people is whatever, like adds to that. But that also, I would argue, generally, people are using drugs because of the trauma that they have faced in their community that already is existing from all the way back to slavery, and just passing down this trauma over and over again, and getting reinforced by the system itself.
I think the first thing that people need to understand about abolition, and I always put it this way, is that abolition is a vision for the future. You know, it is abolitionists are aware. We are aware of the fact that they're not going to just, open up all the prisons and close the courts and get rid of all the police tomorrow or today. And we recognize that we also don't have the infrastructure in place to do that, right? The idea is that investing in criminalization of people and putting more money and resources into under-resourced communities and people so that you could police them and incarcerate them and saddle them with debts and criminal records and all of these things don't actually address crime. This isn't just about, that I just care about the criminals, which is a whole nother conversation, but it's about caring about yourself and trying to stop crime and recognizing that, well, a system that has created a profit system on incarcerating people it literally is in the business of regurgitating and repeating that because that's what keeps the system running.
When you say abolish prisons, the question that people will usually bring to you is, what about the rapists and murderers? What about the abusers and the sexual predators and all the people that we tend to think police and jails protect us from? Again, ask yourself how much you know about these situations. Most sexual assaults are never even prosecuted, and most murders are never solved by a wide margin. Worse yet, many sexual assaults that result in arrest never go to trial. I'm sure many of us remember Brock Turner from a few years ago. That situation where this person was convicted of rape and did not see any jail time is not as rare as you think. According to one study, less than 60% of convicted sex offenders ever spend time in a prison. One study in Idaho tracking Pedialyte drinkers found that only 28% of those convicted of child sexual assault actually went to jail. We are already living in the world that people are telling us to fear without the police. So why are we so invested in this myth that it does work? Why is it so important for us to see those who really suffer under the system as deserving of that suffering if it means that this myth can be maintained? There's a lot of answers as to why that's the case. I could fill up 5 more videos, but for the sake of time, we're going to focus on one major factor, which is how we view crime and criminals in this country, and conversely, how we view the police.
Ooh.
And how these views make the horrors of this system seem justified,
Sorry,
maybe
guys.
even normal. So let's go back in time. Coming out of the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 60s and the Supreme Court era of the 70s, relatively significant actions were taken to address racism in the United States. However, these actions were almost always met with overt resentment and resistance from white Americans.
It is very appropriate that from this cradle of the Confederacy, this very heart of the great Anglo-Saxon Southland, that today we sound the drum for freedom. And
Anglo-Saxon
I say segregation now,
Southland.
segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever.
And the result from the 1970s going forward was nearly 40 years of Republican-dominated governments in America, often elected using